Coming up on the road to the Barclays, we recap the U.S. Bank Championship and chat with Peter Mealy. John Kennedy shows us around the Westchester Country Club. Then it's around the golf with NBA superstar Jason Kidd. Luke Donald is the subject of our player profile. It's all coming up right here on the road to the Barclays. Road to the Barclays, presented by Barclays, quietly conquering the world of finance. Hi, everybody, and welcome to another journey on the road to the Barclays. I'm Mike Crispino here at Westchester Country Club. This past week, we had two first-time winners around the world in professional golf. Padraig Harrington, who had won here at Westchester on the PGA Tour, became a first-time major winner by beating Sergio Garcia in a four-hole playoff at Carnoustie for the British Open Championship. Meanwhile, in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Joe Ogilvy became a first-time winner as well. It took some superb shots to win the U.S. Bank Championship on that final day of play. Here are the highlights.
I did a lot of things this week that I normally don't do in a tournament. I played very, very solid golf. I had a great time with some friends, and I really enjoyed the golf course, obviously.
Tim Clark challenged for the championship at the U.S. Bank. He's the 2006 Masters runner-up. He had cashed 4 straight six-figure checks and was coming off having a 3-shot lead evaporate last week on the back nine at John Deere. Tim Herron has earned $14 million as a pro, but he couldn't keep it straight off the tee, bogeying 17 to finish off the lead. That opened the door for Joe Ogilvy, who had been close to winning before, but had never finished the job. This time, the 33-year-old Duke grad broke through in a big way. An eagle at 16 was the big turning point. Then he went par birdie to finish at 14 under.
Well, it was big because it really got me kind of back in the golf tournament. I think I was 8 under at the time, and it was one of those things where if I didn't go eagle birdie, I really thought that I could, the 2 par 5s finishing, I thought, you make 2 birdies. But if I don't, I'm at 8 under, and I'm like, okay, I'm really not thinking about a winning. I'm thinking about trying to finish top 10 and, keeping my tour card and doing all that kind of stuff, getting a lot of FedEx Cup points. And, so it was a big way to finish. It was amazing, trying to get your first win, you just feel like you can't make a mistake, and I made a lot of mistakes, and it just kind of shows if you had enough good shots and you kind of stay patient and, you get a little luck, because let's be honest, the shot in 16 to go in was a little bit lucky. Things work out. But winning a golf tournament is a big thing. Gets you in the PGA Championship, the huge push in the FedEx Cup points, get you in the Mercedes, and, it's just a pretty special thing.
Out here on the golf range with Peter Mealy, we changed locations. I saw you hitting golf balls. That's the first time in about a year that happened.
Since October, yep. I tried out these Wilson staff clubs, and they're great.
Yeah, he's a golfer, but he didn't have much chance. He's an administrator first. Hey, Joe Ogilvy winning. That's always sweet, your first victory. Everyone's happy for him.
Well, especially his father was a member here at Westchester, so it's a great connection here.
Yeah, the New York connection there. And interesting this weekend, you had Sergio missing by a millimeter. You had Padraig Harrington winning. Ernie Els playing great the last couple weeks. All 3 guys former champions here. You kind of sense there's some momentum building for those guys, and they probably feel good about getting into the playoffs and playing here for the first time.
Well, you look at Padraig and Sergio jumping up into the top 20. Sergio almost crept into the top 10, really getting themselves in position. And I think, you see the drama over the weekend at Carnoustie and the type of golf course that it's there for you. And the design here at Westchester, just the natural design of the golf course, makes the tournament that much more interesting and that much more drama, and these guys love that.
Yeah, the guys love playing this place. That's what they'll tell you when they say we're going to play the Barclays at Westchester. Why is that?
It's a very straightforward golf course. You look at it, and it's one of the shortest courses on tour, and it's not tricked up at all. It is what it is. It's a natural layout that the rough is an average length, and the greens run at what they run. And it's just not tricked up. It's there for you to make the shots, and if you can make them, you'll win. All
right, the momentum and the pressure mounting for all the players. Here's Billy Andrade talking about the FedEx Cup points race.
It's all new. There's a lot of guys I don't think that really understand it. All at And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's points, money, or whatever. If you're not in the top 144, that first one, you're not in it. And if you're not in the top 150 for the second one, you're not in it, and 70 and so on. So, you know, it basically is the same thing, which is if you play well, you're rewarded for it out here. I guess Jim Colbert said it years ago, you know, if you just play well, it takes care of everything. So it's the same situation with the FedEx Cup.
Coming up, John Kennedy shows us one of the tougher holes here at Westchester Country Club. And later, Jason Kidd on the golf course.
Hi, I'm Jason Kidd. Normally you see me running up and down on the basketball court.
Here's Kidd for three. Yes!
But now I'm trying to hit the golf ball. Join me on the road to the Barclays.
On the road to the Barclays, we're on the 11th tee, Tournament 11, with John Kennedy, Director of Golf. One of the things about it, Westchester is beautiful, the trees. There's so many of them, except when you get behind them and you can't get around them.
Yeah, correct. There's no question that we have thousands of trees around the perimeter of our holes, and because they're old oaks and maples, they're very dense, so shots don't tend to kick out into the fairway from the trees.
And at a time when other golf courses have been cutting down trees, they haven't done that here.
Correct. Wingfoot took down well over 1,000, Oakmont close to 5,000 trees. And we periodically will take down trees to help with the agronomy of the tees and the greens to get better airflow and better sunshine. But this is a traditional northern course, so you're going to have a good amount of trees.
And the drive here is key, right, to playing this hole?
Absolutely. I mean, the hole is 460 yards, so you have to hit a pretty healthy tee shot, but you have to stay left center. Because if you don't go left center, then you're going to be blocked up by the tree that guards the right side of the green.
And we've had players get in trouble here before?
Yeah, absolutely. In 2002, Sergio had a three-stroke lead coming here. It looked like he was going to cruise to victory. Hit the ball left, ended up with a triple bogey 7, and went from a two-stroke lead to a one-stroke deficit.
So it can happen. Let's find out what happens when you get down there.
Good.
There's that oak tree, John Kennedy, standing to the right of that green here on number 11, Tournament 11, and it's like 75 feet tall, and it's wide, and it's old, and it's been there, so it certainly creates something visually in your mind when you're sitting down here in the fairway.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why you do need to play the ball left center, because if you're in the right center, you've got a shot of about 170, 180 yards. To carry that kind of a tree and hold the green is virtually impossible.
All right, well, we love the trees here at Westchester, especially if we keep it in the fairway in the little slots so we don't have to worry about hitting around them, right?
Yeah, they're very good to look at, but you're right, not to play from underneath.
Stay tuned. We've got Jason Kidd on the golf course when we return. Oh, another good drive.
I'm seated here with Darren Clark. Darren, how do you feel about the PGA Tour's new playoff system?
I'm excited, Chuck. I think it's a great idea. I'm also excited to get to do my investing with Barclays.
That's right. You're sponsored by Barclays.
Barclays. The PGA Tour playoffs begin with the Barclays.
Excuse me?
Barclays, Chuck.
I know.
I said it twice.
And we heard
Barclays.
you. Darren.
I said Barclays, Chuck. Want me to spell it?
Barclays, very, very proud sponsor of the first round of the first ever PGA Tour playoffs.
We're on the road to the Barclays with John Holtz of the Wilson Company, who's going to show me how to hit the ball straighter and longer, and I think he's going to prove it to me, too. That's the big thing.
We're very excited. We have these DI7 challenges all around the United States, and what we prove is we have an iron that's actually longer and more accurate than our competitors.
And this thing, you're going to be able to show me when I hit balls that it actually is, that's the case.
That is correct. We have what we call a TrackMan here, and what this does is this will tell you all the variables in your swing. It will tell you swing speed, it will tell you how many yards offline you hit it, it will tell you your distance, and what we found is 9 out of 10 golfers hit our product longer and straighter.
Very quick rhythm of quarter tank.
I would like you to hit a few shots with your iron to begin with.
Okay, I'm going to hit a 6-iron here.
Okay.
That's a little bit of a pull. It's coming back.
What you'll find with our technology is because it has a wider tip on the base of the club, what you'll find is you will hit the product much straighter. As you can see, that one, you pulled it a little bit left.
Going left and it going further left.
Why don't we try our product here? Let me explain the technology to you in this product.
Okay.
Number one, it's called a wide tip technology in the shaft. And what it does is it eliminates all the torque or twisting. This shaft has actually got a 450 diameter. Most shafts out there have a 355 or 370. 85% of the shots in golf are hit out toward the toe. And what happens is when a shot's hit off the toe, the club will torque open, you hit it right. Or if you hit it off the heel, the toe's in, the ball goes left. With our product, it eliminates most of the torque or twisting. You hit it much, much straighter. So there's the big point of difference that we have over our competitors.
And you know what? It looks, before I even hit it, it kind of looks like a golf club. It doesn't look like something that's going to be odd when you stand over it.
That's correct. We have a game improvement iron that does look like a player's iron. It does have an undercut cavity. The center of gravity is set very low in the golf club, so it gives them optimum trajectory.
Padraig Harrington was a good spokesman for your stuff with the British Open, wasn't he?
Very excited this week. That was our 59th major tour win with Wilson Products this week. What I'd like to do now is just take a look at your swing again and then give you our product to try in comparison.
Okay. This feels comfortable. I've been playing these clubs for about 4 years, so let's see what happens. A little thin it felt.
A little thin, correct.
Right.
With a urethane insert in the back, you'll get a softer feel with this product. This has a point of difference, and we see that it really does have a wow factor.
Wow.
Hopefully you see that when you're hitting it.
All right, that's going to be my reaction. Wow. Okay. Wow.
And you're a different guy
I
right
said
there.
it. I didn't mean to say it, but I did.
There you go. It's a wow.
It really was. It felt centered. It felt like this sounds like a philosophical thing, but it felt centered when I hit the ball.
Without a doubt. Again, you got a little more hitting area there, and as you can see, dispersion is much tighter. You are definitely hitting our product straight.
All right, would you say I've won the Wilson Challenge?
I would say you won it, and you should be playing them today.
All right, thanks to John Holtz on the road to the Barclays. On the road to the Barclays with Jason Kidd, who's a pretty good athlete, as you know. This game here, though, this is kind of new to you, but you're getting better at it. I'm told. That's the word I get.
I don't know if that's true. I'm a competitor, so hopefully I can just find the ball. We got plenty of eyes here, so we'll have some fun.
Thing is, this is a round ball. Right. You're used to bouncing them. This time you got to hit it. What's the difference?
It doesn't move. That's the bad part, is that I don't have a teammate that I can, pass it off to carry me.
Yeah, the inanimate, the object that just sits there sometimes is more difficult to deal with than the bouncing ball and the passing lanes and all that.
Yeah, I'd rather dribble it than just let it sit there and hit it.
All right, here you go.
All right.
There.
Oh, man.
That's well done.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're used to playing under pressure all the time in the NBA level. In this game, there's a different kind of pressure, isn't there?
Yes, there is. It's the mental pressure, because it's just you and the swing, and just concentration for 18 holes, but it's just one shot at a time, and that's the hardest part.
Oh, that looks good. Get up. That's a great shot. That's a great shot.
Thank you.
Obviously, you watch other athletes in other sports. Do you admire the golfers? Are they really athletes?
Yes, I think they're athletes. For one, they got a nice, 6-mile walk. Maybe for us it might be like 10 miles because we go right and left. But I think they're athletes because, one, they got to walk. Two, it's just them and their caddy. And so people don't look at it as a team sport, but I always felt that the caddy is just as important as anything, because he has to keep his guy, I call it the horse, under control.
Now, you know Mickelson pretty well when you were in Phoenix. You look at a guy like that play golf, there's no question he's a great athlete, right?
Yeah, I mean, just the hand-eye coordination, the soft hands around the green, the great putting, and then he can, bomb it as far as anybody. So it's not the makeup of the body, I think. It's a lot of times people look at, you look at Tiger Woods and how fit and how big he's gotten due to going to the weight room. But I think it's just more or less the mental side of it, and those guys are definitely mentally strong. Somebody just told me that, when you hit a ball onto the green and that next person hasn't hit a shot yet, that puts pressure for the opponent or teammate to try to hit it closer. I never looked at it that way.
No? Well, I have, and that's just what happened. So I got to get up and down. You got a nice look at a birdie uphill putt here.
I just want to keep it in play.
Well, last year was a struggle. I mean, every game, you just try to get to 500. You had Kristich was out. You had injury problems. do you get a sense of accomplishment even though you didn't go that far in the playoffs after everything you guys went through?
Well, I think it just showed the character of the team that we stayed together and that we didn't let go of the rope. And we accomplished one thing, and that was one of our goals was to make it to the playoffs. And then for us, to win the first round and then to come up with short against the Eastern Conference champs, Cleveland, where we felt we could have easily been in the Eastern Conference Finals. So hopefully next season we can stay healthy and give it a run.
Wow,
Jay would have hit it.
that's ripped.
Smoke.
That might be near the water. Gotta go. Come down.
right.
Bounce, do something.
Get
out there.
Good shot.
All right. Hey, a couple years from now, I know you're getting toward the ends maybe for you, but you guys moved to the Barclays Center, new place in Brooklyn. A lot of excitement surrounding that?
It's a lot of excitement. I think for Brooklyn, it's going to be a great place for the Nets, and then also to play in Barclays Center, the most beautiful arena in the world. So, and have one of the best, if not the best team in the NBA.
Well, you now at your age, the knee issues, whatever it may come up physically, how much longer are you going to play?
Until my body says it can't go. I feel great right now. I feel as if I was 24 years old and not 34. And if I can stay healthy and have that competitive edge, I'm gonna play until Bruce or until Ross says, "Hey, I can't go anymore."
We know you have the competitive spirit. You've been tough on us today. We appreciate the effort.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate the vision on the court too.
Oh, no problem. Thanks a lot.
Take it easy on me on the next screen. Okay?
I will.
All right, thanks. I appreciate that. Coming up, it's Luke Donald in our player profile. Back on the road to the Barclays, it's time for our PGA Tour player profile. If you ever get a chance to see Luke Donald swing, you'll feel like I do. It's a beauty, and he's really coming on, gaining extra power off the tee. His short game almost impeccable, and he's moved up to 18th now in the FedEx Cup point race. Here's Luke Donald, our PGA Tour profile. Luke Donald's rise in the FedEx Cup points race should be of no surprise to anyone. Donald has steadily been improving on the PGA Tour since his debut on the circuit back in 2001. This season, Luke Donald already has 5 top 10 finishes, including 2 second-place finishes, nearly taking the Byron Nelson Classic, plus he placed second at the Sony Open back in January. This season's FedEx Cup points race brings new challenges to Donald and the other tour players. But according to Luke, it's exciting for both players and most importantly the fans who are keeping up with the tour more and more week to week.
Yeah, it's obviously going to be a slightly different, it's going to be a different feel really. I think this year it's something new for everyone. I think everyone's going to be a little skeptical at first of how it's all going to pan out, but it's going to be new, it's going to be exciting. Hopefully the fans will really enjoy it. It's going to hopefully promote the PGA Tour as a stronger brand, and having a point system and a playoff season at the end of the year is going to be something great for the players and for the fans alike.
The biggest question the new points race brings is whether or not tour players will play differently, trying to secure a better ranking leading into the Barclays.
I don't think it's going to change the way I feel. I'm going to approach every tournament the same, going out there to try and win the event. But if it comes down to the last few events before the playoffs, and I'm in a position where I could do with a few extra points, then I might change my schedule. I might have to play 1 or 2 extra events, which usually it wouldn't necessarily do, because usually it'd have a few more events until the Tour Championship. But with the playoff season, cutting down on numbers every tournament you play in, you're going to really have to be in a good position to make that the Tour Championship.
One of the crowning moments of Luke's career was his victory at the Honda Classic in 2006. Since then, his consistent play on the tour has kept him right in the thick of things at nearly every tournament he's teed off in.
Most reliable part of my game is my consistency. I'm pretty consistent throughout. You can usually rely on me shooting around par or better. I don't really hit too many terrible shots. I'm pretty consistent throughout my bag, which is a nice thing to have.
I'm seated here with Darren Clark. Darren, how do you feel about the PGA Tour's new playoff system?
I'm excited, Chuck. I think it's a great idea. I'm also excited I get to do my investing with Barclays.
That's right. You're sponsored by Barclays.
Barclays. The PGA Tour playoffs begin with the Barclays.
Excuse me?
Barclays, Chuck.
I know.
I said it twice.
And we heard
Barclays.
you. Darren.
I said Barclays, Chuck. Want me to spell it?
Barclays, very, very proud sponsor of the first round of the first ever PGA Tour playoffs.
Byron Nelson, the first to win 11 straight tournaments. Arnold Palmer, the first to break the $1 million plateau. Jack Nicklaus, the first to win 18 majors. But who will be first to be crowned the season-long champion and take home the FedEx Cup?
Don't miss the 2007 Barclays, the first ever PGA Tour playoff event for the FedEx Cup. For tickets and information, call 877-GOLF-NYC.
Developing good balance. You know, I think balance is a big key in the swing, and if you're not, in balance and you're swinging all over the place and you're not finishing, you need to be finishing high, and you need to be finishing like this versus finishing all over the place. So that's one thing. There's a few tips you can give, but if I had to give one, I'd say make sure you keep your good balance.
Some good advice there from Billy Andrade. You have to have great balance on your takeaway to make a good golf shot. And Billy Andrade's a dangerous player. If he can get here to Westchester and the Barclays to play on the first ever PGA Tour playoff, he always plays well on this golf course. So he's a guy to watch out for over the next few weeks. That'll wrap up this edition of The Road to the Barclays. I'm Mike Crispino. Thanks for joining us.
Road to the Barclays, presented by Barclays, quietly conquering the world of finance.